Hey, what's up guys, Midway here, and today I bring you some footage from Heroic Anduin being tested on the PTR. I'm of course playing Holy Paladin, but this case I am playing with the tier set finally, and also playing Necrolord. Now the fight itself has got some big lore implications. We're gonna see Arthas popping up during the intermission, although I haven't reached the intermission myself, but you can find that footage on Wowhead, I believe, Jack B casting or Automatic Jack. He did reach there, so there's been an article on that. It's pretty cool. Regardless though, the fight itself, it is pretty nice, it's pretty cool. There's some throwback mechanics like this one, which you have to collide with somebody that has the opposite color of you. So you will be marked either with a black color or a yellow color, and you have to find the one that has the opposite color of you. You have to do it pretty quick, otherwise you will blow up, but if you collide with somebody that doesn't have a color on them, or that has the same color as you, you will basically die, and somebody who's around you will also die. So it is a one-shot mechanic, it is pretty cool, and it is pretty much just like that on Star Ogre back in the Nighthold in Legion, but in this case it's not as annoying. You have not that much time, but it is a bit more clear to see who's got what. Now the fight, there's also a lot of other mechanics, of course. There's this big healing absorb shield that's gonna happen right now, right there you see. It drops down and it's like, it looks like that barrier that Anduin does during the cinematics, but in this case it seems to be tainted by shadows. So you gotta go in there and heal a lot. Now when the barrier goes down, it does a lot of AoE damage, but it also, if you don't heal it up, basically will apply a healing absorb whenever it blows up. So it will blow up after a couple seconds and deal a lot more damage, but if there's any healing absorption remaining on that barrier, it will be applied to the raid. So you just gotta go in there and heal a lot of people, basically just do a ton of healing. It is not a big healing check, at least not for now, but of course on Mythic it's gonna be bigger numbers. There's also this Shadow Realms. It's like a different phase, which to get into it you have to be hit by a frontal that the boss is doing. And once you get hit by the frontal, you get sent into this realm where there's a tank ad, there's some ads you gotta heal, and then there's some ads you gotta DPS. And once you do that, for each of the ads that you deal with, the soul of Anduin will restore some sanity. And when that sanity has been restored, apparently that's when the intermission kicks in. But I tell you, we haven't gotten there. I was playing with some bugs, and it is pretty messy. This fight is actually a pretty messy one, especially when nobody knows what's going on. And then there's also another mechanic where the boss itself is targeting people with some arrows, and then after a couple seconds a black star will go towards the players, and if they get hit, I believe they get silenced or something like that. It's really annoying, and we had a tank die to it a couple times because I believe you cannot do anything for a couple seconds after you are hit. So it is pretty deadly. Besides that, I don't think it does that much damage, but I think it also applies some sort of dot. So it's one of those mechanics that's just really annoying to deal with, because there's a bunch of projectiles that go back and forth, just like I think it's Divine Star from Holy Priest or Priests in general. So yeah, it is a pretty annoying mechanic. But the fight itself just looks pretty cool. Healing wise, can't really tell honestly. Like once the fight is this messy, it's really hard to tell. But as you can see, Mistweavers are popping off. Myself, I say already, I'm playing Necrolord now, and I have the tier set. I'm also using the new trinket, the one that provides a big shield, much like AMS. Unfortunately, my keybinds were not properly set up for this, so I kept on trying to use it, but it didn't go through, so I had to manually click it on my bar, so it was really annoying. You can see right there. I put on a different keybind now, and I didn't use it in the proper time, but it shields up the raid for up to 60k damage. So that is pretty much just a mini AMC. Pretty cool. I guess we will be using it forever, basically, because it's like one of the only healing trinkets that's like we can get so far, as far as I know, because the vendor didn't really offer that many more trinkets. But regardless, pretty cool trinket. It's gonna be really useful, especially because it's really only usable by Holy Paladins and these priests because of the nature of the cooldown reduction on it. But if you guys don't know, go ahead and Google the trinket. It's gonna be pretty easy to find in Wowhead. Anyways, how does Necrolord Holy Paladin feel? Honestly, this feels amazing. It just feels so hectic. It feels like you always are just chasing the next wings. You're just constantly trying to hit people with Paladin so you can get that CDR on your wings. And if you play it properly and in a fight with a lot of people that you can stack together, you can basically get to the point where you have like almost 100% wings uptime. If you get lucky, of course, you gotta get procs, and you gotta get some awakening procs and some divine purpose procs. Otherwise, you will fall off. But anyways, like the wings uptime is nuts. Now, the overhealing is also nuts, because one of the big downsides of our tier set, the 2-piece in particular, is that the Lights of Dawn that cast automatically, or the second Light of Dawn that replicates from the first one when you consume the buff you get from the 2-piece, those do cast on the same 5 people. So instead of being like 2 different Lights of Dawn that get casted at 2 different instances, it's just like one single Light of Dawn that does double the healing on the same target. So basically it's just overhealing by a lot. The Light of Dawn overhealing has basically skyrocketed. It's depending on the fight, of course, but what you'll see, I'll also upload a video on the second boss with it, but I was hitting like 60 to 70% overhealing on Light of Dawn during a very long fight. So, but that's a different case. That fight has a lot of, like, it doesn't really have much healing requirements. So in this case, still, it is doing quite a lot of overhealing, especially if you compare it to what's like 9.1.5 Bented Holy Paladin. Regardless, though, the class itself is playing way more different than it was playing with when you were playing Morats. So that's already a positive. Now, you're not losing that much on spot healing, because you are using a lot more Word of Glory. So you can proc you can basically use the Necrolord ability bonus with the buff when you Word of Glory somebody. You also cast the Light of Dawn, and then of course to get benefit from the 4-piece, or rather, never mind, the 2-piece from the tier set. So yeah, it just plays really nicely. It just plays a lot more hectic. You're just constantly on the rush to keep up those wings, just constantly having something to press, and just feels like there's a lot more going on, really. Especially during the second fight we tested today, or rather yesterday, it just feels a lot better, and I will really be explaining that much more in depth in that fight. But for now, just one more pull on this boss. As you can see, I didn't really go down into the Shadow Realm, so I don't think I can show you that there, but one thing to note is you can bubble off the debuff there, so if you don't manage to find a partner to actually get rid of the debuff there, and instead of dying you can just bubble it off. Unfortunately, the other person that had the different debuff that I was supposed to go to, they couldn't do anything about it, so they just died. But yeah, as you can see right there, half the rate or something like that is going down into the Shadow Realm, and I guess you're gonna have to find a different POV for that, but I'll just leave to the rest of this pool. It is a pretty good fight. I think it's gonna be an epic one, but might be on the tough side. I would expect so, at least. But yeah, regardless, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.